Today, there are 2 million descendants of French-Canadian immigrants living in New England. These are our stories. Welcome to the French-Canadian Legacy Podcast.
Venez tous jeunes filles et garçons, je vais vous raconter l'histoire de notre immigration ici au USA, de grands aventuriers, de pays étrangers.
Bonjour everyone, this is Melody with French-Canadian News. We'll start with the latest issue of Le Forme, which is the bilingual magazine from the Franco-American Center in Orono, Maine. This issue is dedicated to Grégoire R. Chabot, a Franco-American playwright, actor, and prominent cultural advocate. So check out all of the great articles within this special issue of Le Forme. To learn more about Grégoire R. Chabot, check out Juliana Leroux's article, Franco-American Renaissance Mourns for a Devoted Mentor, which is dedicated to his life and work in the Franco-American community. There's a new post on Franco-Americans of Maine Then and Now titled, Preserving Culture. This story is about the canning culture of many Franco-American families who had a knack for food preservation. Check out this post to learn all about the history of canning from France to Franco-America, and even get a recipe for plain pickled fiddleheads. We have a blog post from Patrick Lacroix on Query the Past titled, The Great Grammar Brawl of 77. In this post, Lacroix takes us through the story of the intense critiques by several French-Canadian writers who held nothing back when criticizing their opponents. It may have happened back in 1877, but the insults transcend time, so be sure to check it out. There's a new post on my blog, Modern Francos, titled, A World of Lavender for Quebec. This post is about the story of one electrical engineer who took a trip to the Provence region in France. Famous for its lavender fields, the burned-out Quebecer fell in love with the fragrant herb and made it his mission to bring lavender fields to the eastern townships of Quebec. But was he successful? Read the post to find out. The last piece of news to cover is an open job position, so if you're on the lookout for employment in the Franco-American community, this may interest you. The University of Maine at Fort Kent is seeking applicants for the director of the Acadian Archives. This position is responsible for the leadership and operations of the archives. The successful applicant will be responsible for the recommendation and implementation of policies, activities, budgets, and procedures for the archives. The director will also take primary responsibility for grant writing, programming, research and publications, exhibit and event planning, and public services. Check out the site for more details about this position. Moving on to podcasts, be sure to check out Franco-American Pathways, which launched back in May. This podcast from the University of Southern Maine's Franco-American Collection is all about the history and culture of Franco-Americans and the Francophonie of New England. Check out their pilot episode and be on the lookout for their next episode about Franco-American and Acadian musical traditions. And now on to events. On June 24th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, join Lowell City Hall for their Rain or Shine St. Jean Baptiste Day Quebec flag raising. Coffee and donuts outside in City Hall Plaza will follow. In case of rain, the gathering afterwards will take place inside the Mayor's Reception Hall. At 6 p.m. Eastern, join together at St. Michael's Church at 543 Bridge Street in Lowell for a prayer service in the upper church, followed by light refreshments in the downstairs hall. Parking will be available on 6th Street and in the parking lot near Bridge Street between the church and rectory. The parking lot is also available on the Reed Street side of the church, where a handicap ramp for the upper church is located. Ground level doors to the downstairs hall are on the Bridge Street side of the church. These events are presented by Lowell's Franco-American Day Committee. On June 24th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, check out the celebration of New Hampshire's French heritage in Nashua. Join the Franco-American Center of Manchester and the Richelieu Club of Nashua in French Renaissance Park in Nashua, New Hampshire. On June 24th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, join the University of Maine for this virtual event. Jeanne Douillard presents Silent Presence, the French in New England. Douillard believes the past is important. To her way of thinking, history shapes people and shapes cultures. History does matter. We are the heirs of our ancestors' journeys, she says. Their experiences matter. We carry them with us even if their story is lost to us. Be sure to register for this event as soon as possible. On June 25th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, join the Museum of Working Culture for their Quebec National Holiday virtual concert with Genticorum. Tickets are $10, and they come with unlimited access to the concert recording, which will be available for 96 hours after the show. Check out the site for full details and enjoy this Quebecois traditional folk band to celebrate St. Jean Baptiste Day. Next week's guest on the French-Canadian Legacy podcast is someone people have been requesting we have on the show for a long time. We met him while working on the New England Franco Route Geo Tour, and we knew we had to have him on. Camden Martin has a great story to tell, and we hope you'll enjoy next week's episode. That's all I've got for you this time. Everything I've covered today will be linked in the French-Canadian Legacy podcast episode description. Merci for listening, and have a happy St. Jean Baptiste Day on June 24th.
I'm going to be confession time.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got in, started really reconnecting with my Franco-American heritage, my background, the only thing I knew about Lewiston, Maine, the only reason it was even in my brain at all, was because Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston there.
Oh yeah,
That
you
was
want to know a
literally-
crazy story about that?
I would love to know anything about that fight for sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the world has a funny way of work. So, wait for this.
Okay.
My grandfather was a police officer here in Lewiston. He accompanied Muhammad Ali onto the ring.
Are you freaking kidding?
He was one of his bodyguards into the ring.
That was the time where I was super nervous to be a bodyguard
Yeah.
for Ali, because that's right after he joined the
Like
Nation of Islam.
him and a bunch of other cops came in
Wow.
and we brought him into that fight, and my grandfather was there and my uncle was there as well. And he like looked down for a second and it was over because he was so quick. But my grandfather, Paul Martin, Franco-American, was escorted him into the ring.
That is amazing. That was the place still there?
Not the physical. It's like the Colisee. It's like the hockey arena. It was actually came to be because of the Franco-Americans. The big name father for one of the big name fathers from here was Father Douillard, and he's the one who started Saint Dominic Academy. Well, that's L'École Supérieure Saint Dominique. But anyways, he's the one who got together and had that arena built originally. And then that one burnt down and another one was built. But he's the one that was like, you know what? We're going to make hockey huge here. That's going to help our youth. It's going to give them something to do. And he made that place a reality.
That is super neat.
Yeah.
I still don't necessarily understand how the fight ended up there, honestly. But
yeah, I know. I think they were supposed to go to somewhere else, and there was like a cancellation. They couldn't do it, and then
it was definitely supposed to be in Boston originally.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how it went from Boston up to, of all places, Lewiston.
Put us on the map.
Yeah. No, that's
so
really
cool.
cool.
It's funny you asked that question. Yeah, there's actually footage of my grandfather walking him up onto the. You can look up the video, and there's footage of my grandfather.
Yeah, we might have to get the clip of that. So
Yeah.
when we play this bonus, we'll release it on our social media.
We could try to find it again on YouTube, but yeah.
Oh, please, because that's absolutely amazing. That is so cool. All right, well, I
It's an
appreciate
amazing
it.
fight, that famous picture of him.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, legendary fight. Yeah, one of the more famous pictures in the history of sports, not just boxing. Yeah, no,
From
absolutely.
Lewiston, Maine.
in Lewiston, Maine. Yeah, seriously. Before I did any of this, that was the only thing I knew about Lewiston.
All I knew about Manchester from before is my aunt lives in Hopkinton, so we'd only just go to there for like the mall and stuff.
They have like a fair, I think, Hopkinton.
Yeah, we'd come down like through Concord, and then we'd go to the, it was actually the biggest. I mean, the mall you have in Manchester is much bigger than we have here in town, like in Maine. So that was a big deal. And then the one in Nashua was a big deal to come to as a kid.
Yeah, I can't go at the mall.
Then I was like, "What? You guys have Franco-American history?" Blah blah blah. And then it was just like, boom.
Now our fathers look at us and sigh with despair, to think that everything they love we simply do not share. But the spirit never dies, our culture will survive. Each of us must choose how much to keep alive. Each of us must choose how much to keep alive.
Special thanks to Josie Vachon for providing the music. You can find more about her at josievachon.com. This podcast was produced and edited by Mike Campbell. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at fclpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FCL Podcast for more information about the topics discussed. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this episode.